Hello, one and all. Good to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker, and this is season number 19 of Red Barn Radio. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to show number 723. We continue to keep our staff and our musical guests safe, adhering to state and local guidelines concerning cleanliness and personal protective equipment. So, ladies and gentlemen, for now, you, the online viewers and radio listeners, are the Red Barn Radio audience with 100% of our attention. Tonight on Red Barn Radio, DM and the 1601's. They come to us as a largely acoustic trio for this show, which suits the two guitarists just fine, considering their history of playing bluegrass music. But DM and the 1601's also perform as a full-bore outlaw country operation, which they'll return to with a band reconfig and a brand new drummer, Tyler. Tonight's trio is Dustin Middleton, Jamie Stewart, and Kyle Wynn. Welcome, DM and the 1601's. Good to have you here, guys.
We arrived at the show, I hadn't slept in days. Hopped up on cocaine, whiskey in our veins. Stepped off that stage underneath them lights. Burned that summit to the ground like it meant our life. Well, we sing about the devil, sing about the drugs, sing about a broken heart, sing about the love. The bass notes were thumping, guitar was a squealing, long, long waited on Outlaw Country. Well, we left that town smoking and blazing. Never stopped to think about the hell we've been raising. A few miles out, never knowing where the road's gonna take us. If they didn't let us have it, then we was gonna take it. Well, we sing about the devil, sing about the drugs, sing about a broken heart, sing about the love. The bass notes were thumping, guitar was a squealing, and long, long waited on Outlaw Country healing. They said, change your sound, don't sing those songs. Nashville said we was doing it wrong, but we liked the way them old outlaws sound. Nashville can kiss our ass for taking back our town. Well, we sing about the devil, sing about the drugs, sing about a broken heart, sing about the love. The bass notes were thumping, guitar was a squealing, long, long waited on Outlaw Country. Outlaw Country healing. Outlaw Country healing. Outlaw Country healing. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
This evening, we bring to the Red Barn stage DM and the 1601's. All of our featured players tonight hail from Harlan, Kentucky, and they all write. Their songs are infused with the place they call home, both its beauty and its underbelly. The music they write was featured more than once on the acclaimed FX TV series called Justified. We'll talk about that and much, much more on this evening's program. Get ready for some Down and Dirty with DM and the 1601's. Give them a hand, folks.
Thank you. We'll do you one now that was featured on that episode. This is one entitled Jim Beam. If they only knew what I've been through, they wouldn't be judging me. All the nights I've spent alone through tears and agony, and the only man that'll help me now, his name is old Jim Beam. He opened the door and so much more. He's bigger than a man can dream. He said, son, you know what we gotta do. It's only a matter of time. So grab our gun, let me show you, son, everything is gonna be alright. So late that night we went for a ride, me and old Jim Beam, on an old dirt road doing 95. Lord, she's waiting for me. And when I get there, there's gonna be hell. She's gonna have to pay the price for all of the wrong she's done to her son. Lord will make it right. So we drove her down to the edge of town. We laid her in the clay, 6 feet under the cold dark ground is where she'll spend the rest of her days. Driving back late that night, much to my surprise, there were headlights in the rearview mirror, and then those flashing lights. Jim said,
Son, I hate you gone right now, but I think I've done my part. To leave you here on the side of the road with a broken heart. But I don't think they would understand you with me around. You got blood on your hands and clay on the tires. They know where she can be found.
so now I sat in a 5-foot sail with gray stone and these bars, with my old pal Jim nowhere to be found. Doing time all alone is hard. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim Beam. Jim Beam.
Jim Beam, Jim Beam. Well, look, Kyle kicked this one off for you. One called Cold Hearted.
On this one,
The lyrics are a lot different on the EP than it is going to be performed tonight, so buyer beware. This is the radio edit.
PG. I'm a bold-faced killer through the sound of country speakers, made my living playing the blues. Met a girl from Mississippi, had her hair just like a hippie, smoking on Marlboro Smooth. She grew up in the street in the Mississippi heat, where she learned her rambling ways. How to steal, how to fight, how to cuss, and how to bite. That's how she spent the most of her days. She's a cold, 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 cold-hearted. Well, she said she loved Jones and couldn't go wrong with he stopped loving her today. She was a country young hottie, had a smile, had a body, and she loved that lost highway. And when it got dark, we'd find a place to park, and she touched me under the moon. She said, let's make it quick. When the clock would start to tick, it was all over way too soon. She's a cold, 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 cold-hearted. Well, she swore that she would love me, said I'd be her only, and she told me she'd be true. But she found another honey and ran off with my money. Now I'm broke down beating the news. She left the other night, didn't fuss or start a fight. In the morning she was nowhere around. I found it on the note, couldn't believe what she wrote. Said she was Jackson bound. She's a cold, 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 cold-hearted. Now I'm sitting here lonely with the spell she put on me, and I don't know what else to do. Grab my keys, grab my gun, now I'm on the run. I'm headed down to Jackson 2. I found him in a bar called the Mississippi Star. There sat him and her. They were sipping on their jack, pressed a gun into her back, and said those three little words. She's a cold, 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 cold-hearted. She's a cold, 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 cold-hearted. Thank you. Okay, we'll do you one now that we just recently wrote not too long ago, wasn't it? It's one called Here to Stay. One of my favorite tunes to play. Hopefully one of their favorite tunes to play. Stu absolutely shreds on this. No pressure.
Oh, hell yeah.
Here to Stay. Well, it's Saturday night. I'm feeling alright in this bar. But there's nothing I can do to keep my mind from wondering where you are. You say your love for me is fair, and I can't go to hell. Well, darling, I'm closer than you thought. Between the whiskey and the smoke, Lord, it ain't no joke, I'm feeling down. and the haunting memories of the lonely nights when you were not around. Well, you say to go to hell. Well, darling, that's where I can be found. Jim and Jack, well, they've always had my back no matter what. But come this time around, between the three of us, we don't know where to start. You say your love for me is fair, and I can go to hell. Well, darling, I'm closer than you thought. Between the whiskey and the dope, Lord, it ain't no joke, I'm feeling down. And the haunting memories of the lonely nights when you were not around. Well, you say to go to hell. Well, darling, that's where I can be found. Well, there ain't no turning back for me, Jim or Jack, that's what they say. And getting over you, there's nothing I can do, there's just no way. You say your love for me is fair, and I can go to hell. Well, darling, I'm here to stay. Thank you. Well, let Kyle tell you about this song coming up here.
This next one was our single off of our debut EP. We wrote it probably in about 15 minutes. It ain't really our sound. We thought at the time we didn't think it was going to be our sound, but it ended up being people's favorite song. So that's about all I got to say about it.
I've not heard anything negative about it, but I couldn't imagine anybody would tell me anything negative. I mean, they might.
It's one of my favorite songs to sing. Kyle's a little, I don't know, he writes really good music, but he's a little optimistic about it, I guess you could say. It's one of my favorite ones.
He hated it when I took it to him.
Pessimistic.
He said, "I look like Luke Bryan."
It's one entitled Hesitate. You do favor him a little bit.
Okay. Pants is too loose.
Here we go. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't guilty. These two hands broke your heart at time. It'd be wrong of me to say I was the victim, but I'm standing by to fact it ain't just mine. I've done my fair share of things to get here, like whiskey music, the devil, and the road. But maybe you should take a look in the mirror and see if it's the woman you've always known. 'Cause I don't even recognize you after all that we've been through. You're just gonna walk away through that open door. You won't even turn around, won't let me see a tear touch the ground. Maybe we just made a mistake. You won't even hesitate. It'd be wrong of me to act like this is your fault. I wouldn't be telling the truth if I said I tried. I couldn't look you in the eyes and say I hate you. After all the tears I watched fall from your eyes. Well, I wish I could have made things a little better, but it's hard when only leaving's on your mind. Your mind's been made up for a while now. I hope what you're looking for you find. Cause I don't even recognize you after all that we've been through. You're just gonna walk away through that open door. You won't even turn around, won't let me see a tear touch the ground. Maybe we just made a mistake. You won't even hesitate. Won't even hesitate. Thank you.
Well, welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, our guests this evening on Red Barn Radio are DM and the 1601's. They're from Harlan, Kentucky. Dustin Middleton is in the very center of the stage, singing the lead vocals and playing the rhythm guitar. Jamie Stewart's over on the left over there with awesome tattoos. And he's Jamie and Dustin, I think, have known each other for a long time, played music together for a long time. And then here closest to me is Kyle Wynn playing the bass. And
Also good tattoos.
And yeah. All right. Well, perhaps at some point during the program we'll give you an opportunity to share those with the audience. Nothing on the back, please. All right. But anyway, if these guys are interacting up on the stage as if they were dear old friends or brothers or even cousins, it's because they are dear old friends. And you all are you guys actually cousins?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, all
the three of
three
you?
of us, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. And how long have you guys actually been playing music together as a trio?
Well, we've all, as a trio,
10 months.
yeah, probably out close to a year, maybe 10 months.
Is that when DM and the 1601's
That's
actually
when
kicked
DM
off?
Yep,
Okay.
sure is.
And before that, though, you and Jamie, Dustin.
Yes, sir. Yeah, me and Jamie Stewart here had, we was in a former band called Cumberland River Band, a bluegrass band based out of Harlan County, which was actually all
family.
family. We was all cousins.
Two of
Ah,
our,
no kidding.
Two of our other cousins.
Two of our other cousins, yeah.
And was this a wholehearted bluegrass band, banjo, fiddle?
Yeah,
the
it
whole
was
thing?
banjo, mandolin. I played mandolin. Jamie played dobro. Our cousin Jamie Dean played banjo, and Joey Jones played bass. That's how it started.
You ever envision some of those bluegrass instruments playing into the music that DM and the 1601's do?
I've not. Kyle has.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We've talked about
I
We've
think
talked
that-
about it, yeah. Maybe some mandolin or something.
I think our sound is unique because of we call ourselves trash grass. Trash grass, grunge
Trash
country.
grass, yeah.
I like
But,
that.
I
But
think
yeah,
you can
that's,
hear the bluegrass in his rhythm, and that's what drives us, our sound, I think, is his rhythm.
Well, I hear in some of the music I listened to this week, I hear some fiddle going on in your studio recordings.
Yes.
That
Who's,
would
who's
be-
playing the fiddle?
Miss Natalie Thompson.
Okay.
She actually played here with Tyler Smith.
Okay.
Yeah. She's
fiddle player.
phenomenal.
Oh, all right.
She is, as far as I know, personally, the best fiddle player that I know personally.
And where does she live?
Harlan County.
Oh, she lives down by you too.
Yeah, Harlan County, yeah.
Why don't we tell folks a little bit about Harlan? Now, I came here with like a bunch of notes about Harlan County, but it would be better to have you guys actually talk about Harlan. I mean, you start us off with what are some things that Harlan's known for? Obviously, it's got a lot of history, a lot of significance in the state of Kentucky and the country, really.
I'll let Kyle get up on the microphone and tell you a little more about Harlan County. He's a little better at that than I am.
Oh yeah, okay, Kyle.
It's probably most notably known for Buddy Harlan, the coal strikes from the 1930s and 1970s. There was a lot of men that some gave their life for the rights, real workers' rights for the coal miners, and I'm a coal miner myself. And actually, he's an auto mechanic. He is a financial guy in a welding shop, but it all revolves around coal in that county.
Mm-hmm.
If the mines goes down, everything goes with it. It's just the way it's always operated. And I think I looked up and it said 1950 we had 70,000 in population, and today we're somewhere around 30.
Hmm.
And we've got a lot of empty buildings. That's used to be a popping town, but it ain't there no more. Since the mines took the hit it's took.
Mm-hmm. What else is what other aspects of Harlan can you tell folks about who are maybe not from this region of the country?
One of the
There's a
most
lot more
beautiful
good
places.
than what people put out there.
Yeah.
That's a lovely place to live. It's a beautiful place, as Jamie said. It's a beautiful place. It's home. There'll never be another. But there's not a lot of opportunity there unless you work in a fast food, or if you work in the medical field, or if you work in the mine or
Like,
automotive.
You won't find the
there's
unity
not
you
a lot
find
of
there. When
opportunity
something
there.
happens, the unity's unreal. Like Dustin said the other night, heck, the only time you see each other in this family is if we're in a band or somebody dies.
Yeah.
But that's truth, We can go 10 years without talking to each other. Jamie left 15 years. I lived with him when I was a kid. He left for 15 years and come back, and it's like we never was apart.
Huh.
Just the unity of that place is something.
Yeah. Did your relatives, parents, grandparents work in mines as well?
My
Yeah,
father
our
was
dads.
my
Yeah, our
father was
fathers
a
was
miner
coal
for 30 some years. I can't remember exactly.
Hmm.
He was a pinner man. He ran boat machine.
Wow.
All of our parents, all our fathers was coal miners.
And when you go back in your family history, were any of your kin involved? Way back in some of those very
there
very
was.
difficult times, the strikes and
Oh, yeah.
and the
Yes, there was.
Well, I think your father was in
No,
the strike.
our grandfather, my Jamie's
Yeah.
other grandfather
My
on the
father
opposite
was
side,
in the strike
was
in High Splint, yeah.
had a big in that high splint strike.
Well, Harlan definitely has a place in country music and in lyrics. I guess a great song that Daryl Scott wrote. Never leave
Harlan alive.
Alive,
Well,
yeah.
we're here tonight, but we got to go
Yeah,
back.
yeah, but yeah, great song. And then 9 Pound Hammer, of course, refers to Harlan.
You used to do that a lot.
Yeah, I bet you did. Well, talk about how you guys got into music. Did that come from your families?
Yeah,
Dustin, how
it
about you
did.
start?
It did for me. I had my mother's brother, my uncle. His name was Sonny, and he's actually the father of the banjo player for the Bluegrass band we was in. Jamie Dean. It was his dad, and they had a Bluegrass band going, and I would go down there as a young kid, and of course I couldn't play anything at that time, so I would sit on the floor and just pat my hands and try to keep rhythm.
Go down where? Where were they
It
playing?
it was right below me. We all lived in a real close area. It was like I don't
We
know.
call it bottom.
Yeah, we called it the bottom. It was like a little camp.
Huh.
It was all family. It was like my mother and father's place, where of course where I lived, and then below us was my uncle, and then below him was my aunt, and on the other side of him was my other aunt or aunt or whatever you want to say. We call them aunt back in the hills. So. But anyhow, yeah, that's how it started for me. They had a bluegrass band going, and I'd go down there when they would do their practice, and I'd sit in with them, and I got interested in the mandolin at first, and that's how it started for me. It was my father. My dad, he always was, playing a guitar, playing a mandolin or a bass or banjo or something, and that's where I really got my start at. Where I learned to really play was watching those guys. And just kind of trying to mimic, and then watching the chords and everything.
And you had a lot of family
And church,
Yeah, right.
Went to church. I went to church every day.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my mother, had to go to church. But I would say, watching the people play in church would probably be mostly credited to where I learned the chords and stuff on any instrument.
Yeah, talk about your church and the services and the role of music in your church.
Well, the church I went to, it was they didn't really have it wasn't a non-denominational or non-denomination. It was kind of like a Southern Baptist. It was a lot. Yeah, there was.
They have organ,
It was
organ,
kind of like
piano?
a bluegrass band. Just get up. I mean, not really, but it's
Usually like piano and about 7
piano and
guitars.
about 10 guitars, maybe one drummer, and somebody playing piano if you're lucky.
Tambourines.
And a bunch of everyone in the church had a tambourine, for sure.
Dustin, you and Jamie roughly the same age?
I am 37.
I'm 33.
Yeah. So were you guys in the same church?
Yeah.
Attending the same church together. So you remember?
Kyle was too.
Our
Okay.
grandfather,
That's
Joe Dean, he built the church.
Yeah.
And so the church was kind of like,
When we say we all grew up together, we grew up together.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
all less than a mile
Same
apart, I guess.
church, yeah, same, pretty much every day. See each other every day until Stu went off to join the service.
Yeah. Talk about that, Jamie.
I was in high school when 9/11 happened, and then I went and enlisted, and then as soon as I graduated, I went to the Marine Corps. Kyle's older brother, Mark, had went before me, so it was kind of like, it was an easy choice. I had somebody that I could join up with that was in at the same time, and I'd go see him in California or Texas or wherever. And but I was 5 years active duty, went to a bunch of different places, good, bad, and everything in between, and then moved back after it all, and here I am. So I got that song might be right. I don't know. I thought I was going. I was never coming back. And then,
Jamie, was Marines a good experience for you?
yeah, it's the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was,
Did you learn some skills in the Marines?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that you
the most
bring into
important
your work
one
today.
is like being uncomfortable.
That's
the most important one. Being able to tolerate being uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we would call it embracing the suck. It's like if anybody's.
I like that.
Yeah. And a lot of life is like just that, taking it in the face and just getting up the next day and doing it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great primer for life.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Talk about music for you. So church obviously was an influence.
Yeah,
and
church.
And then when did you start playing guitar yourself?
I started playing
actively?
banjo. Was the first thing I played, and then I wanted to play guitar immediately afterwards because nobody at high school liked banjo or anything about. I mean, it's obnoxious.
No?
It's an obnoxious instrument. In order for you to learn it, like your partner's got your wife's got to be, or your wife or your husband's got to be like very tolerant of you. They gotta love you, and you gotta go far away and be small, basically, to learn it.
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
It's so loud. And, but Dad was like, no, you gotta learn to play the banjo, and then I'll buy you a guitar. So I learned to play the banjo, and then my dad and our uncles had that band, and we kind of all went up to our Uncle Gerald's house, and we'd stay up long as we could. We were little, and they'd practice, and then it just kind of rubbed off. And then after I learned to play the banjo, Dad got me a guitar, and then he said, learn that, and I'll buy you an electric guitar. And then it was like a stepping stone kind of thing. And,
Sure, right.
just not being content with anything that I got, and wanted to learn something else. Then I moved back, and then they said, do you want to play dobro? And I said, what's a dobro?
No, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's a resophonic guitar, I guess. But
Yeah, the first album that me and him ever worked on together, we was in Big Stone, Virginia, and I don't even know if he had played the dobro for 2 months, maybe.
no, they picked it up in the pawn shop the day before.
Okay, well, so
the record
a
was
day.
complete.
Well, he didn't have any picks, so he just he was finger picking on the dobro he had the slide, of course,
Yeah.
but no picks, and that's some of the best work that I've heard on the dobro.
No,
in
it's
a
not. No,
long
go listen
time.
to
Yeah, he shredded it. If you'll go look up, what was it, Justified? Was it not?
No, I don't think it was that. I don't think
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was too.
something else. You're misremembering.
We're gonna. Hey, Kyle, how about let's go to you.
Same thing with these guys.
Yeah.
I actually learned my entire basis from church. The same Uncle Sonny he was talking about was a preacher of that church, and we all looked up to him, especially in music terms. But my dad bought me a Marlboro. He got it with Marlboro miles. And the strings was like 2.5 inches off the action of the neck, and I remember my fingers would bleed, and he'd make me play it. He made me learn it, and these guys. My dad was the strictest of our fathers, probably. So he always thought Dustin was a bad influence on me growing
Oh,
up.
really? And was he right?
I know he ain't as bad as everybody put him out to be. He got speared by a cop once, but
So there weren't like 7 basses in the church, were there?
Oh, as far as bass goes, no
My dad
bass. I've
played
just been
bass.
playing since about July. Last July, I'd never touched a bass until last July.
So guitar's your main instrument?
Well, no, I don't consider myself a musician. I didn't until now.
The
I wasn't even
pen,
supposed to be in
is
this
his best instrument.
band.
What'd you say,
I
Jamie?
said the pen. The
Oh.
pen's his best instrument. He's amazing songwriter.
Me and Jamie always wrote music together. Actually, my first song I wrote with Dustin when I was 13, called "Let the Moonshine Flow." That's the one that's featured on Justified. But I wasn't even supposed to be in this band. Dustin put an ad out looking for some guys to play music on Facebook. I'm like, God, almighty, we're like 5 minutes away from me.
What about me?
But I just wanted them to do my songs. And but we played for about a month, didn't we? Yeah. And he's like, "You gonna do this or not?" And I said, "I guess."
Hey guys, tell us about some songs coming up. You got the next one is "Still Can't Get You Back." Next one's "Bottom of the Glass," "Beacon in the Night." You want to talk about any of those songs?
Sure.
Who wrote those? Who wrote the next couple of songs?
We all had a part on "Still Can't Get You Back." That came up just recently, maybe a few months back.
2 months back.
Yeah.
It was January.
Love song.
We was at a practice, and
That's not technically a love.
Kind of nostalgia kind of song. I
kind
guess.
of.
Love of
And,
the past. Love of
I
what
can't
once was.
remember if it was me, Jamie, or Kyle. One of us had a
I started the verse,
line started, yeah, and we all ended up finishing it.
but it was nowhere near what it sounds like. I had no intentions of this song.
Bottom of the Glass. That's been a song that's been on the back burner for years.
We started it in Cumberland River.
We started that song in Cumberland River, but we never recorded that song. Well, we recorded it twice actually, but it never got released. We recorded it with a couple members, and the band disbanded. And we got back together, recorded it again, and then we disbanded again. So,
Yeah.
but hopefully that'll be. Hopefully we don't disband again. Hopefully that's
Well, heavens no.
that's on the back burner for next album. And
Well, keep it going.
Bottom of the Glass is on this album.
Beacon in the Night. That's mine. Stu's favorite song to play. That's so much fun to play.
What's
It's
that
kind
song
of like
about?
a rockabilly, bluegrass. I mean, we wrote it when we was in Cameron River, didn't we?
Yeah, but
But it's not like your typical bluegrass song. It's like it's kind of trashy. Like trashy isn't the word. Like a rockabilly
dark,
maybe.
I don't know.
It's
Blues
hard to
side of
explain.
trash.
It's hard to put a label
What's
on.
it about, Kyle? You interpreted the lyrics
No,
last week.
I actually told him last night. I said I played this song for 6 months. I've never listened to the words of it once.
It's
Well-
just a fun song to play, but
Well, we'll just let you play it, and people can make get their own impressions. Hey, folks, we got DM and the 1601's on Red Barn Radio tonight, and they're going to be with us for a while. We're going to talk some more and have a lot more music, so stick around.
I could take this old guitar, I could play it into the sun. I can make them strings and make them sing about what old Hanky done. It played Amanda on the day that Waylon died. And just like Hank helped me understand all the ways my mama tried. Well, it played on the stage with some pretty big names to the saddest country songs. Caught my tears throughout the years on nights I was alone. I could take it down to Jackson just like the man in black. This old six string is good for some things, but it won't bring you back. Well, its color, it's now faded. It's not much for you to see. But George had one just like her son back in 1963. It's never been to Nashville, but we don't give a damn. And don't y'all think this outlaw bid is done got out of hand, out of hand. Well, it's played on the stage with some pretty big names to the saddest country songs. Caught my tears throughout the years on nights I was alone. I could take it down to Jackson just like the man in black. This old six string's good for some things, but it won't bring you back. This old six string is good for some things, but it won't bring you back. Lord, no. Thank you. That was one called Still Can't Get You Back. We'll do you one now. We was talking about earlier. We had wrote back way back in the day when we was old CRB days. One of my favorite tunes to sing, called Bottom of the Glass. The sun beats through my window, only to remind me of the night before. I hear church bells ringing as my feet search for the floor. I stumble through the kitchen, trying to ease this aching in my head. But the way I feel right now, oh Lord, I wish that I was dead. I'd set out to drink you But the same old thing happened. Lord, it happens every time. You were there in the bottom of every glass, and no matter how I try, your memory I can't dream past. Any man in his right mind would let it go. But I just can't up and walk away, because I love you so. So I'll go back down to that old bar again. Lord, I'll try one more time. But it won't work, Lord, I'll still hurt, and I'll feel the pain in this old heart of mine. I'd set out to drink you off of my mind, but the same old thing happened. Lord, it happens every time. You were there in the bottom of every glass, and no matter how I try, your memory I can't dream past. Yeah, no matter how I try, your memory I can't dream past. Thank you. All right. Like we said earlier, one of mine, Stu's very favorite ones to play. I think Kyle's coming around.
I do like it.
Yeah. Fun little something to play.
He didn't like it when he's learning it.
One called Beacon in the Night. I spend most of my time waiting because you're hesitating over you. What are you so afraid of? I thought that it might be long lost love. Is it a memory from the past? A beacon in the night, love I thought would last, waiting for the light. You had me from the start. I thought that it was true. You somehow took my heart. Now you say we're through. So I'll keep on waiting, even though my heart is breaking over you. You may find someone else, but to me there'll always be only you. Is it a memory from the past? A beacon in the night, love I thought would last, waiting for the light. You had me from the start. I thought that it was true. You somehow took my heart. Lord, now you say we're through. So I'll keep my distance, trying not to fall. I hold on. I feel so cold and empty. Everything that was right is now gone wrong. Like a memory from the past, like a beacon in the night, love I thought would last, waiting for the light. You had me from the start. I thought that it was true. You somehow took my heart, and now you say we're through.
Beacon in the night.
Hey, before we get back to the music on Red Barn Radio, I want to tell you about what's coming up next. We have next week, you should join us for an evening of music and conversation with the Possum Queens. These guys are terrific. They are four women: Anna Herod, Nadia Romligan, Jody Cook, and Stephanie Jeter, who all became acquainted on Lexington's North Revitalizing side. We're going to have a good old time evening of fiddle tunes and traditional music with these talented players and singers. So move your furniture, open up your living room for some dancing. That's next week, the Possum Queens on Red Barn Radio. That's roots music, Southern style. That's what we're all about. Let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. Red Barn Radio is coming to you live on our social media platforms from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the city of Lexington, Kentucky. Please welcome back DM and the 1601's to the Red Barn stage.
Thank you so much. We'll do you one now that is probably one of my favorite ones that Kyle's written. He writes so many good songs. He's one of the best songwriters, and I'm not just saying that because he's standing next to me. He really is one of the best songwriters that I've ever had the privilege to work with, and I'll probably regret saying that after tonight.
It's on video.
Because I'm sure he'll be like, oh, yeah, or, he'll be texting me on the way home. Oh, best songwriter ever, huh?
It's documented.
But anyhow, no kidding. He's wrote some really, really terrific songs. This is one of my favorites, and I'll probably forget the words, but I'm just kidding.
You can't understand us because we're from the hills.
Before he starts this one, I don't know the author's name, but got the idea for this song from a quote that I read by, I just know it's some chick that I had seen on, I think, Instagram. And it was talking about, like, the cigarette, their relationship is over, so it always burns out, and it dies, and that's kind of like where I got the idea for the song, yeah.
Gotcha.
So I just want to give her credit because I guess you can plagiarism or whatever.
In case she's watching, she'll be like, hey, that was my idea.
No, she won't know it because I changed it.
Okay.
Oh.
So you didn't have to say nothing.
I still want to give her credit, but I don't want her to know.
She was inspirational, whoever she was, wherever she is.
This is one called Cigarettes Always Do. Night I lit a cigarette, I watched it as it burned. I watched the smoke spell out your name as it twisted and it turned. I took another good long draw as it fell to ash. It fell off like old memories forgotten in the past. It made me think about you. like cigarettes always do. It could be Marlboro Reds burning up my head, or them lucky strikes sitting by the bed. Is it Camel White or Marlboro Smooth? It doesn't matter which one that I choose. It always ends the same, burns out like me and you, like cigarettes always do. Doctors say they're bad for me, they'll lead me to my death, but it's how they seem to taste with the demons on my breath. I know that I should quit 'em, but I can't lay 'em down. It's the only thing that keeps me sane since you're not around. Just like you, they burn out when they're through, like cigarettes always do. It could be Marlboro Reds burning up my head, or them lucky strikes sitting by the bed. Is it Camel White or Marlboro Smooth? It doesn't matter which one that I choose. They always end the same, burn out when they're through, like cigarettes always do. Tonight I lit a cigarette, I watched it as it burned, watched the smoke spill out your name as it twisted and it turned. Thank you. Look at Kyle coming around and tell you about this song coming up here.
This is actually a song that me and Jamie started writing probably 3 years ago, and we just had the first verse wrote to it, and
For like
we
2
started,
years.
yeah, for like 2 years. Then when I started with Dustin and Jamie, I kind of stole it from Jamie's part and rewrote the whole song. But no, I rewrote the song off that verse, and it's called Gypsy Lady.
Met the devil in Tennessee. Harp was black, eyes were green. Whiskey bottle, black Cadillac. Body was smoking, didn't cut no slack. With one kiss, I didn't know this gypsy lady stole my soul. Gypsy lady, can't you tell? Walked out on me, I'm here in hell, rolling flames. Now you're gone, I ate the apple, then you done me wrong. Please come back, I'm going crazy. I need you here, gypsy lady. A little naughty, a little nice. Lips were fire, heart was ice. Georgia heat, Marlboro red dress. The way she moved left me a mess. Serpent's tongue, heat so strong. This gypsy lady left me alone. Gypsy lady, can't you tell? Walked out on me, I'm still in hell. Rolling flames, now it's clear. I ate the apple, then you disappeared. Please come back, I miss you, baby. I need you here, gypsy lady. I need you here, gypsy lady. Oh, I need you here, gypsy lady. Thank you. We'll do you one now. That's on the latest EP. Tell me a little bit about it, Kyle. Give me a drink of water.
I wrote this song, it's been about a year ago when all this first started, and it portrays a very bad image of the person singing it, but that's not what it's about. Our area has been always plagued by the narcotics, and I wrote this one to show the hardships of those people. It's about a guy that I used to work with, and I watched the downfall of him, and that's basically what this one is. You ready? Is your whistle wet?
I got my whistle wet, yeah. Little baggies, they lay open somewhere on this crack house floor. As I try to cover secrets like a beaten and broke down home. Nothing left in this prison but a hazy old smoke cloud. The lights, they all got cut off. Just my crack pipe is burning now. Now powder blocks my breathing, makes its way into my nose. No reason for them to dig a grave, 'cause I'm already a ghost. I stay high, my feet never touch the ground. I stay high, nowhere to go but down. Now give me a fix, something to use use. I'm just trying to get by these dope sick blues. Pleading for my life as drug dealers claim my soul. You can hardly recognize me as the man you used to know. I traded work and family to eating dinner on these streets amongst the freaks and hoes where the wicked never sleeps. I tell them that I am clean. I tell them I'm not insane. While the devil loads a needle for me to shove into my vein, I stay high. My feet never touch the ground. I stay high, nowhere to go but down. Now give me a fix, something to use. I'm just trying to get by these dope sick blues.
Hey, folks, we're here with DM and the 1601's. They are three guys who know each other well. They're from Everts, Kentucky, which is in Harlan County. Dustin Middleton, Jamie Stewart, and Kyle Wynn. You guys have been really nice having you here, and there's more music to go. So we're not closing shop here or anything else, but just want to tell you how fun it is to have you here. And it's also fun for me. Tonight, in talking about family, Kyle, and I was telling you, how rarely we see our own family. You're so accustomed to just living day-to-day life with yours. And my mother is actually watching. So we're going to say hello to Millie, everybody. Say hi to Millie, Mom. Yeah, there we go. All right.
My mother's probably watching, too. She's probably real mad after that song.
Oh.
She gets mad, man.
Does she?
Yeah. She's a saint.
Well, my mom happens to be one of those, too.
It's amazing how such good people can raise such bad kids. It wasn't their fault, they raised us right.
Well,
I was the bad influence. I don't know about Stu, though, because he was older than me, so I don't know what his excuse is.
I had plenty of my own bad influences.
yeah,
I needed any help.
Yeah, whatever's wrong in me isn't my mother's fault, that's for sure. Hey, so let's get back to, so Everts is the town in Harlan that you guys consider sort of home base.
Yeah,
and
we're actually from a
ourselves around
place
city.
called Jones's Creek. Jones's Creek. We call it Jones's Creek. It's actually Jones Creek.
Highway 1601.
Highway 1601.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Hence
right.
DL
Thus
1601.
1601. Okay, and but you said that. So I was thinking about these floods, right? Like we saw flooding here and we're like, we don't have any mountains here. You said you live in the bottoms. Are you, the area where you spent your childhood was called the bottoms?
Yeah, last year, which I'm in a different area now, last year there was double wide mobile homes floating through the river.
Most of the flooding on 1601
Yeah, it
was from flash floods.
Flash floods were so low.
Well, it must have been huge this year, right? I mean, what
They've done a really good job about the development they needed to do on the roads and stuff to keep that from happening. Like flash floods, those mines are full of water, and once they keep filling up, they finally break over and they'll
break loose.
come out of the mountains. So you got streams, creeks running down the mountains that weren't supposed to be there, into homes and stuff like that, and that's what kind of flooding we experience more down there.
Yeah, right. Okay, so politics-free question. Politics-free coal question. So do people? Yeah. So do people in your community, make reference to flooding being more frequent now that mining has sort of come from underground and come up onto the surface?
No, for the most part, the people there is very supportive of the mines.
Sure.
I mean, I know stuff like that has happened that shouldn't have happened. They've pumped water into old mines or something like that. But no, it's happened. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
Always flash floods.
No, so you don't sense that in recent years, in the last 10, 15 years, that it's become more frequent? You think just pretty consistently there because of the topography of the area where you live?
I believe it's all in the way the geography changes over years,
Which is kind of like mine has died down. I'd say over the past 10 years, like it's died down.
Yeah.
Like,
Had it not been for those mines, though, like mining his water, it comes straight out of a mountain. It comes straight from, that's where our water comes from.
Yeah.
From our mines.
Right.
So, a lot of people get fresh water from there.
Hey, what I wanted to do is go back to, I'd love to hear you guys tell the story about how Graham Yost, the creator of the show Justify, ended up, finding the bluegrass band, the Cumberland River Band, that you guys, Dustin and Jamie, you were both playing with at the time. Can you tell the long version of that story? Because that's something that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, the Harlan County Chamber of Commerce was hosting Graham Yost and Ingrid Escalia, I think that's her name.
And Graham Yost was the creator of
the writer.
The writer, okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
I believe it's his story though. I think he wrote it too. I think you're right.
Yeah.
But he and a bunch of his writers and the music, Greg Seals, I think was his name, the music producer. They were there being hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. They had a dinner, and we were a local band, and they asked us there to play, kind of background music, and then in preparation for that, we wrote a song called "Justified" about them. Yeah, the night before. About Raylan Givens, and it kind of, instead of background music, we were kind of the main attraction, and then they contacted us, and then everything else was just correspondence through emails, and then you send them the files, and then I think we ended up getting 6 songs on the second and third season, and then 1 song on the actual OST.
Well, come on. Yes, you're telling this story really fast. But it sounds like it's like a really.
I'm not a good storyteller.
But it sounds like it's an amazing story, right?
It was. I'm not really good about bragging on myself.
Horrible at it. I had a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. It kind of happened for me the same way. It was kind of like a
Red Barn Radio.
Boom, here it is. Yeah, like a Red Barn Radio. Here we are. It kind of happened so fast. It was kind of hard to take play, to
capture
what had went with the prior. How we even got there,
Yeah. It was
So
very.
Like we just showed up. We're playing for these guys from California, and he's been to California and overseas and everything, but we're playing for these big people here, and it starts out, well, they're going to eat dinner. They're having a dinner. They're going to talk about and do the research on Harlan for this TV show. We think it'll be a good opportunity for you guys to come down and kind of introduce yourself. Maybe you can get in with them, And so we learned this the night before of the dinner.
Yeah, wrote it the night before, right?
So we get together and practice that night. We wrote this song called Justified. It's me and Jamie Stewart and two other guys in the band, Joey Jones and Jamie Dean. And the following day we show up. We do a few songs of our that's in our set list that we had practiced up prior, you know. And about mid-set, I'd say they had got up and got their dinners and got their trays, and they'd sat down to eat, and we'd got their full attention. So we bust out this Justified song, and boom, automatically that gets everyone's attention.
Everybody stopped eating.
And everyone stopped eating, turned around, we was watching us. You know?
Come
so
on.
we kind of cranked the volume up just a little.
Sure.
And when we got done with that, you know, we had a standing ovation from Graham Yost, and you know, everyone in the crowd that was participating that day, everyone was on their feet, loved it. And that's how, I mean, that's pretty much how it came about.
That's a pretty magic night.
It was. Looking back on it now, it was pretty magic, you know, magic.
So has that provided you guys with some other opportunities? Do you still
did.
have? Yeah, talk
It
about
did.
that.
Well, I mean, back in the CRB days, I call CRB days Cumberland River days, Cumberland River Bluegrass days is what I call them, CRB days. After that, you know, it opened a lot of doors for us. You know, we was playing big venues, big festivals. We was in Cure Beach. We was in Outer Banks. I mean, Florida. I mean, we toured everywhere. Yep. I mean, for I think 3 years after that, you know, it wasn't anywhere we didn't go. You know, I mean, it really expanded our music and expanded our audience.
Well, sure.
You know? Yeah, big time. You know.
With 2 videos on CMT.
Yeah, we had some videos on CMT. We actually came to, where was we at when, what was his name? Stormy Warren.
Yeah.
You know, from GMC. I remember growing up watching him on GMC. I don't know how many people remember GMC. Great, you know, I know I do. I thought that was the coolest thing. We got there, and Stormy Warren was the announcer, and he's the one that actually introduced us to come on stage. I was like, how cool is that, you know?
That is cool.
And I was maybe, 26, 20, I was probably 24. I've been 24 for like 5 years at the time. That's the inside joke. But I was probably 24 at the time, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. That Storm, you know, he was introducing our band to come on stage. You know, I thought I'd done made it. You know, the only thing I was lacking at the time was the money, because I done had the fame, and to me it was. I thought I was famous.
Wow.
Little did I know. But I still think, even looking back now, I think that was one of the coolest moments in my life. You know. And I mean, I've shared stage with John Conley, John Michael Montgomery, Billy Carrington. Yeah, we played with Childers, Tyler Childers, at the V Club. He actually opened up for us, if you believe that or not. Sure enough, yeah. That was a highlight. You know, looking back now, that was one of the biggest highlights of my
So
music
Tyler, if you're
career.
watching, it's time to
If you're
return
watching,
the favor.
Tyler, pay the favor, bud. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long ride, man. But it's been fun.
Yeah, right. I could see it in your eyes. So, like programs like Justified and a lot of others in that are set in Appalachia, they entertain us, right? Because of the sort of colorful landscape, the colorful characters. You know, the stories, that imagery that sort of suggests that that the stories are about a place outside of modern America or something. That becomes kind of fascinating for all of us. But it also entertains us, I think, because stereotypes kind of tend to make us comfortable. It's like, whatever lies we believed all our lives are like, oh, yeah, they're true. The TV tells us they're true. But what would you say? I know you guys I see you guys as sort of collaborators in some ways with those folks. So I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I'm curious to know, for people in your area, and just for you guys, what grade do you give the show Justify and the writers of Justified for accuracy?
I mean, it is fictional. It's a fictional story.
Sure.
I don't think that. We don't got bazookas and stuff like that and blowing minds up to heist and stuff like that. But
so no bazookas.
But I think they've done a good job. I really do. I think in some areas gave a better look at what some of the people you call stereotype. You know, there are those stereotypes there, but it's not all like that. It's like going for us to the city. You know,
Yeah.
the stereotypes we've heard our whole lives. It's there, but it's not all like that. Everything ain't bad. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean,
I think Justified done a good job not making everything look bad. I
oh,
mean,
good.
You know, it's a fictional story, so they got to have a plot line. We all know that, but a lot of people got mad over it. And I was like, man, I think they done you a little justice there.
Dustin, what about you and Jamie? What do you guys think on that, Jamie? What's your
It's a
take?
really, really entertaining show.
Yeah.
I agree with I agree with Kyle. They churched it up in a few places. You know that if they'd got the bona fide thing, people back home probably be like, "What is this? Where is this?" You know. There's I don't know. It's like fan fiction or something. You know. It's interesting. It's kind of like how people identify you too. Like, you're from Harlan, where Raylan Givens is from. Like, it's like, yeah, I know. Yeah,
Went to the
kind
same
of.
high school he did, actually, all three of them.
Yeah, Everett's. We played football. But it's a great show. You know, I like. I'm glad they took liberties and made it, more interesting. I mean, the history book's there if you want to go look and see what happened. I mean, I guess.
What I see there, what I hear when I hear you talk, Kyle, you talk about family, and Dustin, I hear you tell the stories of, of that area where you all lived and all your relatives and the interactions you guys had. That to me is pretty extraordinary because it's not like anything that most of us ever had.
Right.
Many of us in whatever today's culture, we see our families. If we see our families once a year, it's it's a good year. It's a
Right.
normal year. And so I hear you guys talking about family and the way that
Well,
all
see,
of your
that's,
kin had their hands in what you were doing and were leading you through that. To me that experience must create some pretty deep, rich, moral people.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Which it's different now. Like Kyle mentioned earlier, back when we was young and our teen days, it wasn't nothing for everyone to get together. Once, twice, 3 times a week, and just visit. You know, and like he said, his Jamie's dad played in the band that I told you that I went down and beat on the floor. You know, and act like I played drums. His dad was in the same band. But it's
together.
Yep.
Yeah.
My dad and his dad run bolt machine together, and mine.
Yeah.
You know, back then it was normal, but now it's like you don't see no one anymore. I mean, the closest family that you have, unless someone passes away, most of the time, which is sad. It's a sad truth, but.
What do you attribute that to? What is the big change
have
that's
no
happened?
idea.
There's not a huge economy to
I don't
to
really
kind
know.
of hold everybody there, so people have had to, people had to move out to
Sure.
Kingsport, Johnson City, Knoxville, Lexington.
And the
you
world's
know.
made it too easy to FaceTime somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly.
Yeah,
You gotta-
right. Electronics kind of keep us
Yeah.
in our houses.
That's
a lot of
probably the
times.
biggest thing. Yeah.
I can see, you can see what your mom's doing on Facebook. You know, she done told you today, you ain't got to go, but you're going to regret it.
But I think it's a lot more than that. But that definitely takes a big contribute to the situation.
Well, I'm so glad I met you guys finally, and we've
Thank
talked.
you for having us.
Been talking to Kyle on the phone a lot, and been listening to your music, and thinking about you coming, and even just during the course of the week, kind of happened fast. But it's been great to have you guys here.
Thank
And,
you. for having us.
enjoyed-
Thank you very much.
Enjoyed all the
appreciate it.
conversation and the music, and it's been great. So, welcome back, folks. DM and the 1601's to Red Barn Radio.
I've learned a lot of wisdom from a worn-out motel key. even dirty deeds for pleasure. The devil don't give for free. I've learned the love of the silence that comes from being myself. I try not to wake her, just leave a 50 on the shelf. I smoked my last cigarette in a bar somewhere downtown. As I swam around the memories that I'm too scared to drown, drugs and gypsy women is the only company that I keep. But every time I use one, they take a part of me. I saw Jesus on a billboard. He asked if I believe. I can't look him in the eye when he sees the web I've weaved. I walked into that church, packing all the wrong I've done. To trade it for salvation, for this altar with this gun. Lord, can you hear me? I think I'm done in hell. The devil stole my soul, so I ain't got a thing left to sell. I know you can't forgive me, but this curse I can't outrun. I came to you for mercy at this altar with this gun. Thank you. Tell me about this next one, Kyle, if you will.
This next one will probably be on the next EP. It's called Did You Make Her Like Whiskey? And I think the song will tell the story itself. So.
Dear God, did you grow her in a cornfield? Did you run her through steel? Did you age her deep in those Kentucky hills? Dear God, is she a gallon or a fifth? made the chug or made the ship? Is she something that I'll need to chase her with? You must have made her like whiskey, 'cause every time she gets me, 10 foot tall and bulletproof, her kiss it burns but goes down smooth, and it gets me, and she always makes me feel that fire down inside. The room starts spinning out of my mind. I sober up like that bottle I'm left empty. You must have made her like whiskey. Dear God, did you make her red or clear in a barrel for years? Is that why I start to shake when she gets near? Dear God, is she good with a country song? Kill the hurt when it's too strong. Or will she be my best friend when everything is gone? Must have made her like a whiskey, 'cause every time she gets me, 10 foot tall and bulletproof, her kiss burns but goes down smooth, and it gets me, and she always makes me feel that fire down inside. The room starts spinning out of my mind. I sober up like that bottle I'm left empty. You must have made her like a whiskey. You must have made her like a whiskey. Dear God, did you grow her in a cornfield? Or did you run her through a steel? Thank you.
I'll let Dustin tell you about this next one.
This next one we're going to do for you is not, it's not an old song. We just wrote this here recently, about 3 months back.
I think December.
4, 5, 6, something.
Actually, had a lot of people. This is one of our biggest hits on social media.
Just got home from work, and this line came into my head. I wrote the first verse and chorus, and kind of got stuck. And we had practice that evening, and that's all it took. Once the guys came down, it was done within 10 minutes. They're like, "Yeah, man, that's killer," and they finished it up. And so we wrote this. Probably one of my favorite songs.
Double check.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, we're gonna do this one we're
'Cause this
talking
same
about.
story happened twice.
We're gonna do this one
That's
we're
no
talking about.
joke.
Wrong
It
or
did
right,
happen
yeah.
twice.
Well, I got a lot of favorite songs, Scott. Yeah, wrong
You
or right.
keep saying that.
That's the reason I'm clamped up.
Need to verify. This one's one of them.
And this is called Wrong or Right.
Wrong, right.
No, I didn't know you was clamped up.
What do you think I was talking about?
You know I thought you was talking
No, I don't.
about. I'll hear it later. Follow us on all social media. It's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are TikTokers. You have a TikTok? Fred Barn? You need to get TikTok too, so I can see your fans. Well, tell them to follow us on all that. Used to be single.
Yeah. For the reason I forgot that, 'cause I'm married now. I used to be single, a double shot of trouble. Now I'm sitting my ass in this tiny little bubble that you call our home. But you're always gone. I used to be a player, two-time and heartbreaker. I lived my own cheating song. But here's what's on my mind. If you don't come back this time, I'm going back to the day when the little girls would say, what you doing later tonight? I could get in a car and drive to a bar, and I didn't have to fuss or fight. I'm gonna hit the road running like a diesel truck, humming, rolling on down the line. There's no slowing down, I ain't turning back. I'm really gone this time, wrong to ride. I remember when we met in that little black dress, standing tall in them cowgirl boots, knocking all the men dead with a pretty red head, running all the way to the roots. But I'm tired of you, and I think I'll call it quits. I'm done, finished, I'm through. And in case you didn't know, let me say before I go, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going back to the day when the little girls would say, what you doing later tonight? I could get in a car and drive to a bar, and I didn't have to fuss and fight. I'm gonna hit the road running like a diesel truck, humming, rolling on down the line. There's no slowing down, I ain't turning back. I'm really gone this time, wrong or right. I'm going back to the day when the little girls would say, what you doing later tonight? I could get in a car and drive to a bar. I didn't have to fuss or fight. I'm gonna hit the road running like a diesel truck, humming, rolling on down the line. There's no slowing down, I ain't turning back. I'm really gone this time, wrong to ride. Wrong ride. Wrong ride. Wrong ride.
We would like to thank Dustin Middleton, Jamie Stewart, and Kyle Wynn, DM and the 1601's, for being with us on Red Barn Radio tonight. We also thank our volunteers and staff for their help in making our production happen each and every week. Thank you all for listening to our webcast, watching us on YouTube and Twitch, and those listening to us on the Red Barn network of stations all around the world. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. Those of you here in the Central and Eastern Kentucky area, be sure to check out Red Barn TV, our weekly program of music now on ABC 36, WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in lovely downtown Lexington, Kentucky. We thank Lex Arts President and CEO Amy Sweetall for helping to make the production of Red Barn Radio possible. Our website has updates and further information on our guests in our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. And now once again, please welcome back DM and the 1601's to the the Red Barn stage to close us out tonight.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us, and we hope you have us back again. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening with you guys. Thanks for the pizza and the hospitality. We'll leave you with this one. It's one called I'll Be Over You. All the leaves have fallen and everything has died. Sitting here in autumn on an East Kentucky night, I've been so cold and all alone, with no place to call home. Now that we're through, you up and left me without warning. I didn't even know that you were gone. I got a little jack and some rolling paper. Gonna get a little drunk and a lot of stone. You didn't even tell me goodbye, but for a short time tonight, I'll be over you. In the morning I'll start calling, trying to make everything alright. I try to walk, but I'm still crawling, wondering whose arms you're in tonight. I've been here and you're still gone, and I'm still a little drunk and a lot of stone, but that'll do. You up and left me without warning. I didn't even know that you were gone. I got a little jack and some rolling paper. Gonna get a little drunk and a lot of stone. You didn't even tell me goodbye, but for a short time tonight, I'll be over you. I'll be over you. I'll be over you. I'll be over you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Well, folks, that's all for our show for this week. But you know what? If you've got an appetite for roots music, Southern style, you can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide every week as we stream live on the web, on YouTube and Twitch every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. You can listen to archive performances on Spotify and video on the Red Barn Radio YouTube channel. And there's lots of other ways, too. Go to your favorite NPR station in your area. Check us out. Ask them if they'll play Red Barn Radio for you. Be sure to check out our social media for updates to our upcoming schedules and more information on our program. And now from all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends around the globe, it's our hope that you have a terrific week. Keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.